All right, welcome to this week's Points and Miles Report here on Traveling on Everyday Spend. I hope everybody is doing well, and if you're traveling, safe travels to wherever you're going. And if you've got people coming, I wish the best for you and hope all goes well, of course. One last thing is, just as a personal note, just make sure that just because this is the Thanksgiving period of time, that you don't, that this is not the only time that you thank others and your family and your friends for what they mean to you in their lives. So just as a reminder, don't it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving to do that. So I just wanted to share that with you all real quick. Got a few things that I wanted to talk to you all about. A lot of Black Friday sales, and the big thing about this whole Black Friday thing is it's not just Friday by any means. It has already started. It's running through till the first, second, and third. And a lot of these travel deals that we're seeing them go into the spring, some into the summer of next year. So it's not a short period of time. There is a very good chance for you to be able to save money. And while we all that are in the points and miles game want to be able to pay for everything with our points and miles, except for the taxes, there's a lot of times where we may not be able to generate that kind of points and miles. So even if you can't pay for it all with points and miles, even if you're able to do part of it with points and miles and take advantage of some of these Black Friday deals, hopefully, then they can hopefully get your move you further along on your vacations that you're looking to do. So just as a tip for that. So I wanted to be able to say that. And I want to say good evening to Lenora. Thanks so much for stopping in. Hopefully you have some information that'll be able to help, but I really appreciate you stopping in today. So let's go and touch on a few items that we've got for today. Now, as far as the offers, credit card offers, not a lot has changed since last week. We might have some new viewers as well. So this is the section where I'll try to provide to you all the current welcome bonuses. It's the highest ones that are going on for you with the major credit card issuers. Hilton, all of their entire portfolio of their personal cards as well as the business cards runs through January 14th with elevated welcome bonuses. Wells Fargo still has the One Key cards. That is specifically for Vrbo, Hotels.com, as well as Expedia.com to be able to get a little status with the credit card, even with the no annual fee one, can be something that will end up making it go further. Then we have these Alaska credit cards. We still have those Atmos ones. They adjusted a little bit, but still good deals for very good airline credit cards. When it comes to Atmos points, they're some of the most valuable that you can be working with the airlines, and really love them a lot, especially that Summit credit card. Capital One, we have until December 9th to be able to get that additional bonus on the Venture One, the Quicksilver, as well as the Saver Rewards card with the additional $100 travel credit in addition to the $200 cash back. And that is on $500 worth of spend. So you have until December 9th for that. We know that we have the Venture X and the Venture X Business with elevated offers, 100,000 miles on the Venture X, but it's for $10,000 worth of spend. Not the most ideal when we normally have 75,000 miles already, but if you've got the spend, I guess it works for you. Venture X Business is obviously off the charts with up to 400,000 miles, but you're going to spend to get there. You're going to spend $30,000 within the first 3 months to get that 200,000 mile limit. And then you have to spend another 150,000 total in 6 months to get another 200,000 miles for 400,000. Probably a lot of other ways to be able to spend that, have that kind of spend and maximize the points and miles a lot better, but it's there for you. Chase, we still have the Sapphire Preferred, and I noted in our last call that the Sapphire Preferred at 125,000 points took off any kind of banner on the website that talked about it being new, heightened offer, ending soon, or anything like that. They may be looking to leave that at 125,000 for a period of time, hopefully to continue to drum up some business in new people to enroll in getting that card. The Chase Sapphire Preferred, we still have that available as well at $95 annual fee. That's at 75,000 points versus the 60,000 that we normally would see. Amazon Prime, as we go here into this Black Friday time, if you do not have if you have Amazon Prime, then you might as well look at having the Amazon Prime credit card. No annual fee as long as you have the Amazon Prime, and you'll get $250 gift card right at the time that you get approved. There is no spending requirement, and that $250 gift card is for you to use immediately, as well as the virtual number that you'll get for that credit card. So you can jump right into Black Friday with that card. That should be a good deal if you, once again, have an Amazon Prime membership, and most of us do. Then we have the Ink Business Preferred card. That is now up to 100,000 points for that card, and that one was with $8,000 in purchases in the first 3 months. Aeroplan has a new elevated offer, but unfortunately, in my view, we've been talking about 2 tiers to get to the max welcome bonus. This one, unfortunately, goes to 3 tiers. You've got 75,000 points for $4,000 in purchases in the first 3 months, which is what we normally do see. Then you get another 25,000 points for $20,000 in purchases in the first 12 months. The remaining 20,000 points would be if you basically spend with the card at the 1X level, and they would get you a 50% bonus on that spend between November 24th and January 15th. Now, we saw something similar to this as far as that spending requirement on the Hyatt personal credit card that we just saw, where you only get it on the 1X category, which is unfortunate and still does not make it really worth using at that point. I still view this more as a 75,000 point welcome bonus for that card, but maybe some people will push it to 100,000. Then the city credit cards, we still have the Elite, the Strata, and the new Globe card for American Airlines. And Amtrak, their guest rewards preferred card, if you are a person that takes Amtrak as a commuter on the East Coast, or you've got something planned possibly for some cross country, might be a card to look at. They doubled the bonus from 20,000 to 40,000 points. That is going to end on December 16th for that. Now, as far as transfer bonuses, we do have a little bit on this, and I see we've got Call Me Lonnie. Appreciate you stopping. How are you doing, sir? Always great to see you. Have not had a chance to check out Lonnie's latest ones, but if you want somebody that's going to talk about credit cards, especially his knowledge of United, always a really good video to be able to look at. Always has a good touch of humor to it. It's a good watch, so I definitely always recommend Lonnie for that. So thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Now, as far as the transfer bonuses, we do have a little bit of change, and we're coming to the end on some of these transfer bonuses on November 30th. For Amex, you've got the end for Avianca, Marriott Bonvoy, in that Accor Live Limitless combination with Vietnam Airlines. And then for Chase, you've got them ending on Marriott for November 30th. Aeroplan did come in with the 30% transfer bonus, probably ties in with their elevated offer on the welcome offer on the Aeroplan credit card. That is going to be 30%, and that's going to go all the way to January 5th. Now, as far as the points and miles opportunities, there is a lot we're going to cover on this, but there's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to put into the description for that so that you get as much of the breadth of what's going on with the travel bonuses that are going on. First one we'll touch on, which we touched on last week, the Alaska Airlines up to 100% discount for purchasing miles. You got to purchase by December 23rd. You're at 1.88 cents per point per mile. If you get to the 100% level, it does still exceed a bit of what people value these at 1.6. As I always tell you, you will determine the value of these points and miles that you deal with based upon the redemption that you're able to strike for yourself. Avianca has up to 150% discount. The purchase does need to be by December 3rd. That will get up to that 150% will trigger at the 51,000 point purchase mark. That'll get you at 1.32 cents per mile, which is just under the perceived value of those points. Choice hotels up to 35% bonus. That will get you to 0.76 cents per point, which is a strong number. Now, always keep in mind, though, Citi and Wells Fargo, you can do transfers with them at a 1 to 2 rate for that. That can really get you some choice points pretty quick. So don't feel like you just have to look at buying points by any means. Finnair, we talked about them. They're going to be ending on the 30th, up to a 50% bonus and a 10% tier bonus on purchasing miles with Finnair, and that triggers at the 50% mark at 100,000 points miles. And Finnair, it deals with Avios, as we'll talk about a bit later. Preferred hotels, you can save up to 35% at approximately 250 of the 650 independent locations that they have. That is booking by December 1st, but it is good for stays all the way through June 30th. Registration is required. I'll make sure to have a link for that in the description. And you do need to use the promo code that I have there, and I'll make sure to put that in the description as well. Does require a minimum 2-night stay. So if that can something that fits, any kind of discount from Preferred is always good. Copa Airlines has up to a 90% bonus if you're purchasing their miles by December 21st. That at 90%, you're looking at 1.58 cents per mile, which is not bad, but it's not the best we've ever seen. If you're not too familiar with Copa Airlines, it does work well with partner airlines within the flying from the U.S. within the U.S. as well as to the Americas. If you're flying on Copa Airlines metal, that would be basically good for flying from the United States to Panama. 17,500 miles one way in economy, or 30,000 miles one way in business. And a couple of notes that we have, the Kimpton password. If you're not familiar with this, Kimpton ends up having a password that they reset probably about 3 times a year. And that password, when you check in, will allow you to have an amenity when you check in, or a reward, we'll call it. And the password from now through the end of February, excuse me, through the end of February 2026 is the life of a Kimpton guest. So the reward does vary based upon the hotel, but if you're already going to do that, pick up that little extra. Now, Delta and Turo is going to be ending their relationship at the end of this year. This is a relationship that's been going on for 3 years plus. Now, the one thing to keep in mind for these deadlines, if you do have something reserved, any rentals that start after January 1st of 2026 will not earn any points, except if there's a rental that starts after January 1st, but you booked it prior to July 1st of this year, then you will still get the points. But if you did it July 1st or afterwards, then you will not get the points. And so that's a bit unfortunate. If you're a person that does use Turo, you still have United that does have some relationship with them. And you can also see that there's a relationship with Rakuten as far as to be able to earn more points. E-Trade and Amex. Now, we all know that we've got different cards for the American Express Platinum. We have the vanilla, quote unquote, credit card. We've got a Morgan Stanley, and I believe there's a Charles Schwab. Now, Morgan Stanley would normally require you to have $25,000 in their brokerage, in your brokerage account on a monthly basis to qualify to get the Morgan Stanley card. Well, we finally are now seeing where E-Trade is going to get that same benefit because E-Trade is now part of Morgan Stanley. I think it happened earlier this year or late last year. Well, now you qualify for being able to get the Morgan Stanley card. And what's great about it is because E-Trade is basically a very low cost, no minimums or very low minimum requirement to have an account with them. You do not have to worry about that kind of limit to get access to the card. Now, we don't know all of the specifics as far as maybe will we get the same rate if you're transferring to E-Trade versus Morgan Stanley? Do you have to do it at different intervals as far as how much? We don't know all of that as of yet, but being able to get that Morgan Stanley card that was really kind of hard to get for some people, now just by having an E-Trade brokerage is a nice thing to be able to see. So that is an option that is now for people with that. Etihad we've seen a lot of changes with Etihad, and normally not for the better. We do have some more changes, and unfortunately, still not for the better. So if you were paying for tickets with Etihad, they had now have gone into groups, which we've seen a lot of airlines do now. And their groups are the value group, the comfort group, and the deluxe. Now, first class only has comfort and deluxe. And so now the guest seat awards have now gone in line on that ticket structure. So what does that end up meaning to us? Well, if you're trying to cancel or change your reservation within 72 hours of departure, regardless of what level you're at, you cannot do it. It won't matter. You won't be able to do it no matter the fee or the cost. Now, once you get outside more than 72 hours, then there are some differences. So on the value, which is the lowest rung of this, you would end up having a $163 change for $163 to be able to change. There is no cancellation that you can end up doing with it. If you do, or if you're in comfort, it's a $74 change cost. And if you want to cancel it, then you're looking at 25% of the ticket price to be able to do that. So you would take a pretty significant hit. Now, if you do pay for the highest tier of deluxe, there is no cost after 72 hours before, if it's more than 72 hours, whether it's change or cancellation. So if you're dealing with points with Etihad, it is something that you definitely have to keep in mind. And we'll touch on a couple of other things with Etihad as we move along. So let's take a look at, I see that Lonnie just recorded a new video coming out soon, so make sure to check him out for that. Always gold to check him out. So thanks for pointing that out. Now, as far as Bilt Rent Day, we've obviously we've got a good. This one's not too bad this time. We've seen when they've talked about Rent Day, and we've had these redemptions that we want to be able to do to transfer our points. We've seen them go all over the place of whether you get, if it means anything for you to have a higher status with them. And that's something that in my case, I always want to be able to see, even if I don't have the status, because I want to be able to rely upon it. So for Bilt Rent Day, if you're not aware of it, this is where for one day, you basically are getting double the points. So normally for dining, it's 3x, but you're going to get 6x on this day. Travel, 2x, would now be 4x, and then it would be 2x on everything else. That would be 1x, except for the rent. That does not change. Now, in order to, when you're dealing with the card and to trigger it for the rent aspect, you do need to have the 5 transactions that are needed. And this has always been a touchy topic as far as doing this. For me, when I've been doing it on that one day, when I can get 2x on utilities, on insurance payments, that's when I'll make my payments if I'm using the card. And then we always want to book travel out as far as we can. So being able to book travel, or at least consider it with the Bilt credit card at 4x is strong, considering for travel with an American Express Platinum, you're talking about 5x. So 4x is really good. The dining aspect obviously is very strong at 6x. A lot of things you can be able to do with that as far as the cards that you use on that regularly. So that is a good option. Now, the thing with the rent day, it's 27 hours, because what they do is they start at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then they stop at 11:59 p.m. on the 2nd Pacific Time. So you really get 27 hours of the rent day, and you can earn up to 1,000 bonus points. Now, the rent-free game show, which is always a nice, fun thing to try to play, see if you can potentially score yourself that rent. The show this month is with Zarna Garg, of comedian. We'll talk about why that in a moment. It's a family feud style show. December 1st by 3 p.m. That's when it ends. And then you'll find out if you're a winner at 4 p.m. on the 1st. If you are the person that you have 10 top players that will become the rent winners up to $2,500. If you're the next 100 people that win, you get 1,000 Bilt points. And then the next 500 members will get 100 Bilt points. So something to kind of throw around to get together. It's pretty fun. Now, just as a quick note, as far as a lot of times I think people miss on the complimentary fitness add-ons that come with Bilt, where you can get some elevated points that doesn't get talked about much. So this page basically talks about it, from berries at 2x, core power yoga at 3x, cycle bar at 3x, pure bar is 3x, rumble boxing 3x. So you're seeing a lot of these ones. So even if you're not doing something on rent day, and they have different fitness add-ons, from the glove rentals to the shoes or a yoga mat, maximize this card, if, especially in the fitness realm, if that is something that you're interested in. And let's move on to, as far as what's going on with the cafe, comedy shows, and dining. Now, the Neighborhood Cafe is in New York on 31 Bond Street, and they'll normally have some kind of food thing going on for the day. There's no difference with this one. You can enjoy complimentary drip coffee with Mercado Little Spain chocolate, and I think it's Jujo, XUXO. It is a flaky fried pastry filled with chocolate and hazelnut cream. They'll have 600 of these available for that day between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., which is complimentary. And then they will continue to offer it throughout December with $3 for one of them or $5 for two. Now, the Bilt comedy and the dining experiences has been interesting in my view, because while it has clearly been popular, we continue to see the constriction of the number of cities that we see them in. And the comedy shows are now down to 18 venues in 13 cities. That number has been in the 20s at different times, but it's not surprising. But that is but something to keep in mind, that what you thought might be near you may no longer be near you. The cost of this is $30 to $40, 2,000 to 2,500 points if you're going to use Bilt points. The Zarna Garg comedian is tied into the $1 Million Excuses tour that they're doing, and it's going to have 30 shows that runs from January through June. You can end up getting a VIP pass through this, and something to consider. Prices do vary a bit, so you can take a look at that. The Bilt dining experience has also dramatically dropped from 32 restaurants it's dropped down to 7 cities. That's it. New York, Miami, Dallas, San Francisco, DC, Belmont, California, and Chevy Chase, Maryland. That is it. It's unfortunate. I was hoping that we would see more expansion, which was what we were supposed to see, but that's not really played its way out. So now let's move to the transfer bonus that we're dealing with. Bilt has up to 100% transfer bonus to IAG. And IAG is what includes British Airways, Iberia, and Aer Lingus. If you are a blue member, which is the base member, haven't earned any points, reached any level, you'll get a 25% transfer bonus. Silver is 50%, gold 75%, and platinum is 100%. So that could go a long ways, especially if you have a higher tier and you have some points to use and you have a plan for using them, most importantly. They are also doing gift cards, and we'll talk about what they are, but they're not the best value, as most of us know. So it uses the same tier of from 25 to 100% between blue and platinum, and they are different each day, as you'll see on the screen. Begin with it going on today all the way through Monday. These gift cards are normally going to be at 0.7 cents per point. So even if you doubled it and you had platinum status, now you're looking at 1.4 cents per point. But most people value Bilt points at 1.8 or 2 points. and you can definitely get more value out of it especially if you're using it towards Hyatt or Alaska Airlines. So there may be some people that need to do it with gift cards, so I definitely wanted to make sure to share that with you all. Now, as far as a few of the Black Friday deals, I wanted to bring this to your attention. So let's start with Bank of America. They have an up to 22% in cashback or instant savings on travel purchases, which is basically hotels, car rentals, and instant discounts. This is going to end December 1st, and these targeted offers are through their Bank of America AmeriDeals platform. So you could see as much as 22% cash back on hotel bookings, up to 17% cash back on car rentals, and between 5 to 22% of instant savings on hotels and car rentals. Now, you do have to make full payment is due at the time of the booking. Cashback, you should see it within 30 days of you making that purchase. So at those kind of high numbers, if you have a Bank of America credit card, and I believe it applies to debit cards as well, you definitely need to at least take a look in the portal if you have any travel that is coming up. Uber One is an interesting one. If you have the American Express Platinum card, they have added Uber One as part of the benefits that come with the card. But I know that there's a lot of people that have Uber One anyway. Well, they've made some changes, and there are some deals with Black Friday that I think are really ones that you should pay attention to. So the first part is family sharing. You can now add one adult and unlimited teenagers onto your Uber One account and not have to pay additional money. Each person will receive full Uber One benefits. Now, the additional users will also earn their own credits if they are doing Uber rides. So that is a really nice touch, especially for a family. Now, they are also doing complimentary ride upgrades if you're an Uber One member. Now, this is not meant to be for a limited time. I can't say that I've gotten this yet. Now, Uber One members will get what they call prioritized upgrades to a more premium level, subject to availability. So you may request an Uber X, and you could be upgraded to an Uber Comfort all the way to an Uber Black, and that would be at no extra cost. What Uber plans on doing is they're going to grant more than 1 million upgrades between December 2nd and December 25th. So if you're using Uber, you might be able to catch a break and be part of one of that 1 million upgrades. If you're using Uber on the holiday, during the holiday, they are actually doing 30% discount as it relates to Thanksgiving necessities. Now, I must admit, I see that they're talking about Thanksgiving necessities. I don't know exactly how they are making that determination, if it's by grocery store or such, but if you have Uber One, at least look at that if you do need some necessities. Now, as far as Black Friday, one really good deal, if you do have a big purchase to make from Uber Eats, you can get a $25 discount on an Uber Eats purchase of at least $75. So you're talking about a 33% discount on that. There are also no delivery fees on Black Friday when doing deliveries from Best Buy, Home Depot, DSW, and Lowe's. I don't know how DSW got into that. DSW is a shoe store if there's not one that's local to you. Then you can also get a 15% discount on Uber and Uber Eats gift cards, as well as 20% off on the Uber Courier. So especially if you've got an Amex card, make sure to activate that Uber One and utilize it. And if you already do have it, you might want to consider that as well. Accor Live Limitless has 4 different sales that are going on. The first one is their Black Friday sale, and this is for prepaid bookings that you need to do by December 3rd. And it's for stays from, amazingly, from December 19th of 2025 all the way to December 18th of 2026. You're looking at 30% discount on US and Canada and 40% throughout the Americas. Now, if you're booking through the app, you can get an additional 10% on top of this, or you will also can earn up to 4x on your points. So using the app, when we've seen a lot of different vendors really push to get people on their app. This is a great one that if you're going to do it, you got to take advantage of the 10% additional bonus, and you need to be able to get up to that 4x on the points. So the 4x is if you're on a classic level with Accor Live Limitless, you get 2x. Silver, gold, and platinum will get you 3x, and then 4x for diamond, limitless, and in Accor Live Limitless signature. The second sale is the guest star sale up to 25% worldwide. Book by December 1st. It does require a stay of 2 or more nights, and the stays do vary. The duration varies by region. It's normally going to be through March 31st of 2026 for most of Europe, and I've seen it where it's for Northern Africa, February through March 13th, but that can vary. Make sure I'll have landing pages for all of these sales for you to be able to look at which ones are available and the specific dates that are involved for that. Then the third sale that they have is a hotel escape sale. You do need to book this by January 10th, and this is for stays through March 31st. 2 nights or more is required, and this is up to 20% off at select properties in the Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. The last one is stay longer, save more, and this is up to 20% off in North America. Accor Live Limitless members will get an additional 10%, which you have to do because there's no cost to it. So don't miss out on an additional 10%. Now you do have the ability to book through March 30th and stays through March 30th. It might be March 31st. But the percentage increases based on the nights that you're there. 1 or 2 nights is 10%, 3 to 4 nights is 15%, and 20% for 5 nights or more. Etihad, which I said we would talk about, they do have a good deal. For good news is that you can get up to 35% off on economy flights. Now, you do have to book by December 2nd through Etihad's website. The eligible departure locations include Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, JFK, and Dulles in Washington, D.C. Now, the travel is good for between January and June of 2026. And you should also keep in mind that if you're taking advantage of this, that they already have a standing offer as far as you have a potential free stopover in Abu Dhabi, if that is part of your itinerary. And what they end up doing is you can get up to 2 free nights at a partner hotel. Now, if you're flying with Etihad and you're doing it on award tickets, then this whole benefit of the 2 free nights at a partner hotel does not apply. We are seeing this. I believe we've seen it with Emirates as far as Dubai. I think we also see something similar to that in Singapore, I think. But I'm definitely sure about the 2 Middle Eastern giants for that. Now, you will be, if you cancel or change anything with that flight, you are going to be subject to the prevailing wage. So you really don't want to have to make changes on this and lose the discount and then paying the prevailing wage with it. There is a discount as far as buying points right now, up to 50%. And that 50% triggers at the 41,000 point mark. And that'll put you at 1.33 cents per mile, slightly under the normal perceived value of 1.4 for Etihad. So that one is available as well. Rove Miles. We've talked about Rove Miles a lot. I'll have a link for my video in my experience with Rove Miles. This one is a Black Friday only special, November 28th. They have a lot of different things going on with it. The first one is that you can earn up to 5,000 bonus miles on your first hotel booking through Rove. And that would be spending $100 to get 500 bonus miles, and you do need to use Black Friday 100. Spend $500 and earn 2,500 bonus miles. That's Black Friday 500. Or spend $1,000 and earn the 5,000 bonus miles, and that is Black Friday 1,000. You'll also get 3x on your flight bookings and 10x on your hotel loyalty eligible stays. If you're not familiar with Rove, and definitely check out the video to know more about it, is that they recently started doing loyalty eligible stays. So when you book, quote unquote, through Rove, You get all of the benefits that you don't lose any of your status. You still earn points. So if you book, let's say a Marriott, you will still earn the points even though you're running through Rove essentially. You'll earn Rove miles, you'll earn your Marriott points, and if you're using the right card, you get the benefits of that. And that's basically getting triple stacking those points with Rove. Very good deal to be able to deal with them. They had ran a promotion of being, I think, at 10 or 15x on that maybe about a month ago that I talked about in the video. So it's good to see that come up for that one day. You'll also get boosted earnings for giftcards.com if you're going through Rove's shopping portal. You'll get 5x on Rove miles if you're purchasing airline gift cards, Airbnb gift cards, or hotel gift cards. You'll get 4x on Visa and MasterCard gift cards. And then you'll get 2x on various ones if you're doing it through the portal, where even if you're buying Hyatt points, which is very interesting to get 2x on that. And obviously, you could take that 2x credit card, such as a Citi Double Cash or Venture X, get the 2 points for that, also get the 2 points for Rove miles, and be able to really maximize any of these type of purchases. Viator, British Airways, StubHub are a few of the ones that I would mention as far as that. And I see Matt mentioning Rove. Yeah, you just can't go wrong with Rove, and so you need to ride it out, collect those points. It's just too easy to be able to do it, and it's a great way to be able to work with them on that. So those are the things that I wanted to at least bring to your attention for tonight. Now, like I said, I'll spend part of this evening to load up the description with a lot of other points and miles bonuses or discounts and such that are going on. It'll take me some time to get that, but I will fully fill up that description list for you to be able to look at and add chapters to this as well. One other thing that I did end up seeing is that we are now seeing World of Hyatt in Capital One shopping portal, and I also saw it in Rakuten's when I was as it pops up for me anytime I'm doing something. So there's a lot of opportunities to be stacking these points. Make sure you're doing it. And once again, especially with Rakuten, which I'm really fond of, just make sure that if you either have an Amex card that you have a card that you get points on, or you have a Bilt card that you are making sure you're changing your cash back to one of those to get as much as you can out of this. So just wanted to share that with you. A lot of things going on with Points and Miles, a lot of different discounts on Black Friday. And remember, it's not just on Friday. We're seeing these ones go for a week plus. So make sure to check out the description later today. Let me know if you all have any questions or concerns. Always happy to chat in the comments and be able to talk with you all. But if want to make sure to give you back your evening. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join me this evening. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and I will talk with you all soon. Take care.